So thank you all for staying. It's been a long day and kind of weeded out a little bit, but hopefully you got a lot of good information from today. I know I did. I'd like to thank Rika and Andrea for putting this on. You guys did a great job, so thank you. I'd like to start off by talking a little bit about our panelists, and hopefully today, what I see anyway from their background, it's a terrific set of experiences with throwing myself in there, almost 90 years worth of experience. Now, what does that mean? You can get to decide on that. But from the standpoint of what the panel is supposed to discuss and what we're trying to go through is to give you a little bit of sense of, again, definition for me, I talked about this earlier today, definitions of terms. What does risk management mean, and how can you use BPM to hopefully establish a better way of connecting the bridge so that you have something to look at so you can measure risk, understand it, and then make decisions based off that. So with the last part of the theme from the elections, something I talked about earlier again, which is the one thing I can feel pretty comfortable about is saying, we are going to get a lot of change come November. Whether we're going to get more regulation or less regulation, I don't know, but what I feel very comfortable about is the regulation is going to change. So with that, it drives a lot of different aspects of what we're going to be talking about. So let me see if I can do this. So as we get on, I'm going to just go through and introduce the panels first. We'll talk about Ron. Ron is the co-founder and CEO of NewOak Capital. He has 29 years of experience in alternative asset management, advisory, solutions, and academics. He holds a BA, an MS, an MBA, and a PhD from UCLA and has taught at UCLA, Boston University, and Brandeis. Prior to co-founding NewOak, Ron worked at BlackRock and was the global head of structured finance. David is the director for Commerzbank here in New York and head of risk control and capital management. This role includes portfolio reporting, economic and regulatory capital analytics, and David originally joined Dresdner Bank in 2006, which was then acquired by Commerz. And prior to that, he was actually in Germany with Accenture Germany. And Vinod, has a very interesting background as well. And from when I first started getting into this process, learning more about what transformational strategists meant, I had to do a little research. But there's a vast amount of information about that. And Vinod has seen a lot of different things from the Bank of New York in terms of the financial market, treasury services. In his present role, he's responsible for the handling of business and operational strategies, optimization, and transformational projects. He has 18 years of security industry experience, including client relationship management, and then working with investment banking for algorithmic trading platforms. And it's just understand the complexities involved with that. So with that, I'd like to turn it over. Maybe I could start with you, Vinod, just to talk a little bit about what you think are the prevalent issues related to risk management, and how do you kind of define it and talk about some of the things that kind of keep you up at night?
Thanks, Mike. And thanks, audience, for waiting so long. I know it's a long day. Everybody is eager to go home, and being on the last session is always a challenge to keep the people awake at this time. So we'll keep up in our mind that time is very important, and we'll try to finish on time. As Mike asked about the risk and what comes in mind for that one, and how I type that back to the BPM and this context, and based on the audience over here, recent financial crisis and the economic paradigm shift has shown that we need a great need for a resilient and robust financial system. What does that mean? Like, we have started putting up a lot of new regulation, Dodd-Frank, Basel III, and different kind of regulatory requirements are coming into the pipeline. And looking at the operational risk side, I see that is the biggest challenge to interpret them, to understand the legal aspect of any regulation and the operational or the technological aspect of that regulation. That's the biggest challenge comes in my mind.
David, what do you think?
I can't disagree on that. Definitely we see a lot more regulation, but I think it's no surprise. I mean, we had a pretty big mess, I would call it, from a risk perspective a few years ago, and we can't be surprised that the governments are reacting, and we will see more governance and more regulation.